GM, everyone joining us on today's live stream. How we doing? It's a brand new week and new energy, but the mission and the goal is still the same. I hope you enjoyed your weekend and you had fun as much as possible. And I also hope you didn't forget to touch some grass. All right, so welcome to another live stream on Onchain Africa. This your go-to stop for founder stories, learning from what founders are building, knowing what they're building. And if you're watching us right now, I'd love you to do or to show us one or two support by obviously retweeting or reposting this live stream, depending on what platform you're streaming from. If you're on Twitter, do or to repost or retweet. And if you are watching on YouTube or streaming on YouTube, please do or to probably just post the link on your WhatsApp status or wherever social media platform you use out there. All right, so don't forget this Onchain Africa once again. And if in case you're joining us for the very first time, this is one live stream that we talk to African founders building in the Web3 space. And one of the reasons why we decided to talk to only founders building the Web3 space is not because we are selective. Nope. It's just because we're trying to get a particular audience. We know how important the important role the blockchain is going to be playing in the nearest future. And it's our own quota to supporting these founders to put them out there so you can also learn about them. And if you're also watching, you'd love to be a founder at some point in your life, you'd love to be a developer, I would love to pay rapt attention because I'm going to be asking very personal questions about this, what these guys are building. And I want you to definitely learn one or two things from their journey, their experience, what they learned so far. And don't always forget, if you have any question, we also take questions on this live stream. Do well to leave it in the comment section, and I would see it on my end, either on Twitter or YouTube. So do well to leave your questions there, and I'm sure our founder is capable enough to answer that question with ease. All right, so joining me today is Mr. Gideon. Let me bring him up stage now. Mr. Gideon, how you doing, sir? Good afternoon.
Hi everyone, good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How about you? How was your weekend?
Uh, yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, sir. Quickly, I don't know. I was expecting you to look probably in a different way since I see they call you Afang boy. So I'm wondering why. I'm wondering where the Afang boy came from.
Okay, so the alpha was see as a dev building from Aquarium, if you don't eat alpha, you not survive.
You seriously? So
Why
Afang is like your energy drink.
exactly.
That's nice. You know, while I was growing up, I think Afang was one aquarium delicacy I never liked because I always called it black soup. So, well, growing up, I spent 4 years in Aquarium State University, 4 5 years there, and it ended up to be my favorite meal. I don't know what happened, but Afang just was my go-to meal.
You see exactly. You have to go for the one that has not been warmed yet, like the breakfast.
Now you dey
Yeah,
chop
no,
eba
that's
for breakfast. Now people like dey chop eba for breakfast.
active,
Nice.
active, active.
Sharp, sharp, sharp. All right, so I don't take much of your time. Let's just dive into what we are doing today.
Sure.
Quickly, I'd love you to probably just tell us about yourself briefly, what you are doing right now, and what you were doing before you started doing what you're doing right now.
Okay, so my name is Gideon Okupon Achibon, and I am from Aquarium State, born and raised. So um, I'm a microbiology graduate. Currently building, currently a game developer. Before being a blockchain game developer, was a normal traditional game developer building on systems like Unity, Unreal, Godot, and UFN, and Google's. Yeah, so
Mm.
I decided to dive into the Web3 space and started making blockchain games.
All right, amazing. You know, you said you studied microbiology. It's just crazy. It would have made a lot of sense to me if someone that did probably physics or math and statistics doing something that relates to programming would have made a lot of sense. But you did microbiology and you are here being a developer, a programmer. Like, how was that journey for you, pivoting from normal biology to programming languages?
You see, that's should I say one thing about life, it ends up taking you unawares and on paths you did
Mm,
not expect. And so the 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 amazing thing is that you just have to know how to adapt. Like take all with three wasn't actually in my that was just let's say it means to an end. So it means to an end was looking for um let's say um jobs and all of that to just keep afloat for the meantime and stuff. Then at the third and I yeah like learned the skill for like the money and all of that. But at the third end I ended up falling in love with the whole making games craft because yeah it was out of pure love and passion because when I started learning for the first few years. Like there was like no jobs or no money and all of that. I just kept on building and building and building because I loved doing it, and I knew sooner or later it will pan out, it will pay off.
Yeah, definitely. So I think my next question is, people are learning programming languages. I mean, they say, okay, I'm going to be a UI UX person. I'm going to be a front end developer, back end developer. That's something that has been trending. But why
Yeah.
game? Because when I was learning how to code, I was learning HTML, CSS, and all of those things. I didn't think of learning how to program games. So, but why did you choose that niche in the world of programming?
Okay, so the funny thing is that I didn't choose. Like I keep telling people that if I knew that what I was getting myself into was like making games proper, that I wouldn't have gone for it. Because let's say I think that was when we had like 8 months strike. So I
Mm.
met up
That's
with
Unio, right?
my yes. I met up with my my guy, and I was like, oh, if you have a job for me, I would love to take it on. That I wasn't doing it at the moment. It was like, oh, I have something, and he was actually studying computer science at the moment, and I was like, oh, and he was like, oh, okay, I have something for you, but it's more of a skill, and you have to it will take you a, a little bit of time before you start earning money, but you just have to learn the whole stuff. And I was like, oh, deep and come, let's cook. And that moment I did not have a laptop, I got a laptop and I started. Even as at that, I did not know that, oh, this is what I'm going to do. So it's just like,
Mm.
oh, I want to teach you something, I want you to learn something. So next thing, oh, you're Unity developer, you're a game developer. We started with the basics. I started learning. He started showing me the ropes. He was there guiding me all through, and that's how I stacked up the knowledge and kept on learning and learning
Okay,
and
amazing,
learning.
amazing.
So yeah, that's where the whole falling in love with the this thing. Because from the outside, trust me, it looks very complex and hard, but once you give it that time and allow it to grow on you, and you a passion of learning and all of that, you get it. Oh, I think Benjamin is already.
Okay, I'm back. So sorry about. I'm so sorry about that. See me sweating already. Sorry, can you hear me?
And yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
I can hear you.
all right. So back to where I was, and I'm very sorry to everybody that's streaming. So sorry about what happened. My internet tripped off, and I had to find what happened. But I'm back. All right. So quickly, sir, you were telling me about your journey, but I think the next question I wanted to ask you was, how has Super Team NG, that's Nigeria, how have they played a huge role in your growth process? What role has they really have they really played in your growth?
Okay, so um, basically, I owe everything I'm doing in production space to supporting NG. So when I initially started, I wanted to get into the gaming. I reached out to my friends that I one of my friends that I knew. Like I kept seeing Super Team post and stuff on our stitches and timeline. So I reached out to her and was like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I join the community? And she referred me to the state mode, and as at that time, that was when the breakout hackathon started. So I was like,
Mm,
okay, and they're like, oh, the hackathon is just starting, and this is a very good time if you're joining us. So you build something and be a part of the community. So that's when I started building Wave Drive, and even after Wave Drive, even after the hackathon, like the community was still there. Um, Supporting, pushing like the materials, the resources, the community members them themselves. Like I was carried along even when I didn't have like prior knowledge to blockchain or Web3 before that. So
mm,
that's how I'm using the super team NG core community is. I joined as a total newbie, a total beginner, having zero knowledge about and all that. Fast forward to now, they still work like they still play a very huge part in what I'm building. When like Red Drive fatigue and all of that, they play a very vital role for the support, the encouragement, the resources and all of that.
mm. Amazing. All right. So enough of every other thing. So let's just go down to what you are building right now. So tell us what you are building now, and let's say we have somebody just watching right now and just seeing Gideon. Gideon knows, okay, he's a game dev. What has Gideon built so far? What's he building right now?
Okay, so initially I started with RevDrive. RevDrive is an is a car racing game where you you get digital ownership of your assets in the game, like your racetracks, your cars, and all of that. So you directly mint them inside the the game, and you own them as NFTs that can be transferable and hold value outside of your game, where you can transfer them from your game to another person and and all of that. So that was the first thing I did before I moved to Vertic. So Vertic is basically an hyper casual arcade game where you have waves of obstacles coming at you, and basically you just have to survive and shoot down these obstacles and get scores and that's and that's so your main aim is surviving as long as you can and getting the high score you can.
All right. So let me just share my screen to just for those streaming right now so they can see how have an idea of how Votic looks like. So we're going to talk about this moment where you got into PSG, like your game got
Okay.
incorporated into their the Solana gaming console. So for those of you just hearing about Votic for the first time, this game is actually live on PSG1. Now this is Solana official Solana gaming console. All right. So if you're a gamer, this is something you can order and explore the Solana gaming ecosystem on the go. All right. So it's easy. If you remember, what's it called? Game Boy. Yeah, Game Boy. If you remember Game Boy back in those days, yeah, or
Yeah.
Nintendo. Yeah, if you played Nintendo back then, yeah. So this is something very handy, very mobile, and pocket friendly. All right, so I think I can enlarge the screen. Yeah, so let's just watch this trailer together. So that's just a short trailer of how the game looks like, right? So I want to ask, like, how did you feel when you made it to PSG 1? Because I'm sure you're not the first person who built a game for that device that didn't get into it, but I think you are the first Nigerian and probably the only Nigerian that got to that device. How was the whole experience? How did you feel?
So that's something I do wish I can describe, but unfortunately I can't. Now it was a very big win for both me, my team, and the whole super team NG community, because being the first Nigeria, currently the only Nigerian that has a game on the first gaming console on Solana was a very big is a very big step, a very big win. Like it gives me a lot of morale to to keep doing more. Like
Mm,
I'm like there's just so much we can do. There's just so much we can achieve despite where we are coming from, despite
mm,
where we are from, despite where we are, despite the challenges we are facing, and all of that. So it's like a push to like, now you've seen what is possible, and just go ahead and do more.
mm.
Just dare to try. Yeah, basically it's like a dare to do more.
Nice. So one thing I love the Super Team NG is the fact that the team always pushes Nigerians. And last week I was speaking to the founder of Kore, he's also an Akwa Ibom boy, interestingly. All right, his name is Edidion. So I was with him live here on Onchain Africa, and he's also what he built is not available yet on iOS or on Android, but it's actually available on the Solana device, Solana Seeker. And it's just amazing how the super team actually supports and pushes Nigerian builders out there to make sure that we are also competing with the best. And I also see the energy in which they are pushing or putting for the hackathon also that's currently live by Coliseum. All right, I
Yes,
see how they are
yes.
pushing Nigerian founders also to be a part of this, to put us on the global map. Amazing. So back to voting now, what inspired this game? I mean, you'd have probably chosen something to do to play, you'd have chosen a different game style or different game genre, but you chose something like this. What inspired such game? It reminds me of Chicken Invaders, by the way.
Okay, so so it's chicken again. All right, so yeah, Votic initially was kind of, let's say, um it was a simple Votic was like a simple side project I worked on with my
Mm,
team, and we used it to apply for until I think up to so 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 we didn't really go anywhere with the bounties, because that wasn't sure. I said that wasn't really what the organizers were looking for, or whatnot. So I saw the nature of the game, and then I saw um, PhD 1, and immediately it struck me, and I was like, oh, this the style of this game fits perfectly into the place runner console, and and what we have currently might likely not work, but if you shake it down and look at it iterating and making this better that it might just work. You get, it might
mm,
just work. So that being said, we we poured in a lot of creativity, a lot of work into the game just to make a flagship experience for the play Solana console. Because when the play Solana console launched, the games there already, like they had like about 6 games or thereabout on the console, and I was like, oh, we have to be here, we have to be part of this experience, we have to be part of what is going on. So that's why me and my team, we did a lot of work, a lot of iterations, a lot of building before we finally started and giving out the the game for the Play Solana team
Mm.
to test prior to being approved for launch.
I think one thing I've learned from your story is the fact that you don't have to, because you've heard no doesn't mean you stop, because you
At all.
applied for such a country with this same game and they
With
didn't like
the
it.
same with the same game.
It's the same game. So,
With
but
the
you
same
guys saw
game.
another opportunity somewhere else and you grabbed it. I was like, okay, this could be our chance to make it out there,
Yeah.
and you grabbed it, which is amazing. I think to everybody watching right now is because someone has told you no doesn't mean that's the end. That could be a starting point to where you should actually be. So don't really take no as an answer, and don't really take no as a sign that you should stop. Let no be a sign for you to move to the next level and try something better, and look for people who appreciate whatever it is that you are building or resonate with what it is that you are building right now. So, Gideon, do you guys intend going mobile very soon, probably on iPhones and Android devices?
Okay, so thing is, we are currently live on the Solana um, their
Yeah,
store.
PSG one. Yeah. Okay.
No,
For the Solana
like
Seeker.
yes. We
Nice.
launched on Sika first before we launched on the Play console. So we have both the console version and the more mobile version available.
So, but what's stopping you guys to make, because the seeker audience is kind of limited to only Solana guys. Well, I mean, we have literally everybody has an Android device or an iOS device. Why not expand into that market? Any
So
challenge?
actually, it's something we are considering. It's something we are considering. Yeah, because I mean, to it's just to the console accounts for one logo, and then ship it there. Like the product is already, like it's ready. But things are currently, we are still surfing on the blockchain market. So that is where our that's where our attention is right now. So from there, we are just like trying out a few things and trying to get our grounds and whatnot. So afterwards we can then, let's say, go to the outside market. But for now, me and my team, we are just focusing on the blockchain market for now.
Okay, so you see, I think one thing that gives a founder, or how a founder defines success, is when he or she has direction. And I'm actually glad that
Yes.
you guys have a direction, and you know that, okay, for
The
now
carry.
our audience are the Web3 folks,
Yes,
and you
yes,
guys are focused on that. And that's how.
yeah.
And when you're able to eat that properly, you define success for your journey. All right.
It's all about clarity. It's all about clarity.
Yeah, nice, nice. Okay, so one thing, I've not played the game yet. I've not used it yet. I don't have a Sika phone or the PSG one with me, but I know you guys have Jupiter kind of incorporated into the game. Like, what's the idea of having the Jupiter exchange in game?
Okay, so the whole essence of making the whole essence of making Web3 games is using the blockchain while seamlessly um, in the gameplays. You get. So take for instance Votic now, let's say you're okay with the ongoing tournament now, and let's say you're you're mid game and you run out of um you run out of your in-game token that you're using to get your power ups and all of that and then you're like, oh, I don't have any plays because the coin is complete. So, oh, I don't have any plays, so let me quickly go and let me quickly go and buy play or swap play or p2p play or whatever, and then come back to the game and continue what I was doing. Now that's kind of like stressful. It kills the vibe and it ruins the mood and all of that, whereby you have to quit your game or minimize your game or whatever, go into your wallet and swap and make a swap and then come back to come and continue the the game. So I actually considered that experience, and I was like, it beats the whole idea of having a seamless blockchain interaction mid game. So that was when I was like, okay, why don't we have why don't we have a swap feature implemented in game, where all you have to do is just go to your store and swap. Then that's way, if you are playing the game for the first time and let's say you are not familiar with the play Solana ecosystem, let's say for some reason you are using Sika, or you are using Sika, or you are in a new wallet. Yeah, so to avoid like looking for contract addresses or locating the coin and all of that, all you have to do is just go into the store and swap your soul to P, as simple as that. So it was all about making the experience simple and straightforward without killing the vibe for the game.
Yeah, I think I love that. That's actually interesting. And I think one thing that every builder has to have at the back of their mind is making the user experience as simplified as possible. At the button of at the click of a few buttons, the job has been done. You've swapped, you've bridged, you've done whatever it
Ex-
is you want to do, and you're back in
exactly,
game and ASAP. Makes sense. That's
exactly.
really nice, really really nice. By the way, so I think my next question, you actually made mention of the play token right now, and we can, for example, I play some games and I buy some in-game assets and all of that to be a better player and all of that. But I would love to ask that. Okay, so for someone who is spending money buying all these different in-game assets, and there's another person that has the game, that loves playing the game but can't afford all the game in-game assets, how did you make, or how what's your strategy of making the in-game economy very fair for the person that cannot afford to buy the in-game things? Is there a way that you made it balanced?
Okay, so the 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 way the game is made and the features in the game, like your current player, your current the default player and the default environment. Like I have a friend that played the game for 12 minutes. I have a friend that
Mm-hmm.
played the game for clean 12 minutes without using a single power up, and still using the default skin. You get, because the skins like um it comes with upgraded abilities, like the amount of bullets you shoot, the amount of minutes, the time the power up last and all that. So things like the game is still playable without the power up. So like I said, that's my friend. He played for like over 12 minutes without using a single power up. So this means that the without using the okay, let's just say the power up for now. Without using the power ups, you can still enjoy your game. you
Enjoy
you
playing the
can still
game.
enjoy your game, exactly. So now the power ups now are like giving you an advantage you get. So like let's say like the tournaments we are having now. So let's say somebody just decides to play the game throughout with the power ups. And now the good thing about the power ups is that to make the whole thing fair still fair, you have limited amount of power ups you can get. So you don't end up um getting a single power up, like let's say like 15 pieces and go into the game and boss around for the whole time, spraying the power ups everywhere, like a really really unfair advantage to those not being able to afford power ups. So you can just have like max of 5 power ups for one of the power ups
Hmm.
you because like 5 quantity. So it's just for you to go in there, um use it wisely, because if you end up not using it wisely,
You
you can
wasted.
just end up spending, yes, exactly, wasting it. So that somebody that is not even power can still last longer than you if you do not use it. So it's like a fair system. Now, coming to the environment and the skins, it's this is to give the players like a better feel of the gameplay, a better feel of the gameplay. So you can still play the way it is by default, but if you need like a better aesthetic feel and let's say some upgraded player movement, that's when you have to go for the skill and the environment. But you can still play the game without this. So to a very good extent, it is fair.
All right, amazing. It's always nice when you also consider the people that can't afford to buy these things. So
Yes, yes,
amazing.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
big shout out to everybody watching us right now on Twitter and on YouTube. To the 38 streamers or viewers right now on Twitter, big shout out to you. And to the three streamers also on YouTube, still big shout out to you guys also. All right, so just in case you just joined right now, here with me is Gideon, who is building an amazing game called Votix. Votix is currently live on the Solana Seeker device and the PSG one, which is Solana gaming console, the mobile gaming console, by the way. So you can see at the bottom of the screen is Twitter handle. Please do also give me a follow on Twitter. Everything you need to know about Votix would be answered on his Twitter. All right. And if you also love to partner with what they are building, also, you can also shoot him a DM. You can also shoot me a DM, personal DM, and I'm sure he's going to be glad to respond to your DM. So my next question now to Gideon. You guys tournament will be going live in a bit. Like, okay, sorry, let me
Yeah,
just use
it's
this.
it's
So
live.
you guys
It's live
tournament
already.
is currently live, right? So tell us about the
Yes, yes,
tournament
yes.
in case anybody out there has access to one of these devices and would love to participate.
Okay, so basically, the tournament is you just have to play the game and have your high score. So we have like a leaderboard. So if you check inside the game, you see leaderboard. So the aim is at the end of the week, you have to at the end of the week by um at the end of the week you have to be among either first, second, or third.
Hmm.
So the rewards will be going out to the first, second, and third. Like at the end of the week, snapshots will be taken and the leaderboard will be refreshed. So afterwards, the first three players, as per your high score, will be rewarded at the end of the week. So we are running this for 3 weeks, and then at the end of the tournament, at the end of the tournament, the players with their with with the highest scores of the 3 weeks combined. So the players with the highest scores from the 3 weeks combined would take home a player to NFT. So let's say the number one for like overall highest score would go with the player two NFTs. So big shout out to Play Solana for sponsoring the tournament.
Okay, amazing. So just quick question as someone that loves NFT. How much currently is this player to NFT worth right now?
You have to go and make your own research and play the game with it, or you go and buy it.
They don't send me work. No vex. You know go vex my boss. You know go vex. So like I know you guys have been building this for a while. How have you guys been generating revenue from this game?
Okay, so um basically basically the revenue we are getting from um um let's say the when players purchases their power ups and buys skins and environment. So that is basically our market model.
Mm, that's nice. Okay, that's okay. So I also have to ask this question because I'm sure people are wondering. People are wondering. Okay, I have this idea, but obviously I can't build it alone. I might need money to build this thing to a certain level. All right. So how have you been able to build this without money? Because I know at first you were not making money. So what's your own from your own personal experience? What would you like to tell somebody who would like to build something, but the person feels limited because he or she doesn't have money to run with his or idea?
Okay, so from a personal stance, you will always be limited at to some extent, to some point. You will always be limited. There will always be obstacles and all of that, and all of that. But what happens is what you do when you meet these obstacles. Like
Mm,
you don't just say, oh, um, I'm facing this, I'm having this issue, I'm being limited by this, so therefore I don't think I can make this work or whatever. I just back down. No, so you find a way to improvise, work with what you have. That's basically it. So work work with what you have. So building games is actually very expensive. It's very expensive
mm,
in a sense of keeping the lights on, especially if you're in an area where I know generally in the whole country there's like a limited power supply, but then there are still areas in the country that the power supply is like limited. Like personally, I haven't seen um um electricity like from like normal light in like 3 to 4 days.
so which
So
light you can't dey use? Light from heaven or where?
with the I be
Even
light for
solar for
heaven
don
now.
die by now.
I be light of the one side worry. So just imagine a newbie that is trying to build something, and then the person has no access to light in like a week. So
Mm,
that's a very big hindrance. That's a very big hindrance there. So now imagine running on fuel that is almost 1,300 per liter. Imagine using that for a whole week. And now this and now what you're doing is that you're not like even working for a client or something. You're trying to build something for yourself, something for your co- community, and it's like really challenging. So what you just have to do is like figure out a way to do it, either like just you just have to figure it out, because that's the only way it's going to work.
all right, sharp. Makes sense. Thank you so much for that advice. I mean, I think there's one thing I picked up from what you said. You said that you would always face
You will
obstacles,
always,
but what matters
whether
is
it's
what you do. Mm,
exactly, whether light, whether data, because trust me, data is actually quite expensive.
expensive,
And
yeah.
you might just sometimes you might not even have let's say you might not even have like the your preferred spec of device that will
Mm,
make you seamlessly run what you're doing. So let's say what you're having now, it's like being or taking a lot of time or frustrating you and all of that. I've been there. I've been there. So even as that, you just have to manage and figure things out and just keep going. No matter how bad it gets, just keep going. No matter how bad it is, just keep going you till you figure things out, and it actually gets better.
All right. So talking about challenges, I'm sure while building Fortic, you had challenges. Now, what is one significant challenge that you experienced that you learned the most from? And also tell us how you found your way around the challenge you were facing at that particular time.
Okay, so when you think of cha- challenges in general, there are like lots of challenges. You could have like technical challenges. You could have like um resources, challenge with resources, and you could have like personal challenges where you are like in your head and you're like trying to, oh, I can't get this done, like how is it called, like just like you're not really feeling it or like being motivated enough if this will work or if it will not work, then you're like feeling as if you're taking a very big gamble. So
Hmm.
yeah, speaking of all these challenges, what I would the challenge I faced most was um two, like, okay, one was a lot of these things were things I personally haven't done before. So
Hmm.
I had to learn I had to learn a lot of it on the job. I had to learn a lot of it on sit on sit. So let's say for instance, when you're on the Jupiter deck swap, it it was the one of the challenges is limited resources, like resources in terms of learning materials. Like you see, there
Hmm.
are no, like, you don't have a lot of YouTube videos out there because everybody thinks, oh, there's AI now and you can actually spin things off and do whatever you you want. But it's not as simple as it sounds, especially if you don't know what you are doing. AI comes in handy when you know exactly what you are doing and can even spot when the AI is wrong, or giving you
Hmm.
what you don't want, or like giving you something that is outside of what you're looking for. So, and these AI models tend to have a way of complicating things when it's supposed to be kept simple. So if you don't know how to handle all of that, you are in for a very long run, for a
Hmm.
very big thing. So
Hmm.
so so now when I was working on the Jupiter deck swap, there was no videos or stuff to figure it out. So I had to um come around that challenge on my own by reading documentations from Magic Blog and the Jupiter Dev Doc itself. And when I got it working, that was just the time the what is it called, the SDK got outdated and the deck stopped
Hmm.
working. So I kind of had to build that part, the dex part, the
Yes, the
Jupiter
part.
part. Yeah, not like directly on the SDK, but using some things from the SDK. I had to build the that part from scratch. I had to build it from scratch, and this was like few days to the hackathon ending. And so I had to build it from scratch. So things, when you are facing obstacles like this, number one thing in your head is not to give up, and very important, don't panic, because I would have easily panicked and be like, oh, I'll fix this, but it's not working now, and it's not my fault that it's not working now. So let's either wait for these guys or give it up. But then, but then I just had to like go over it, start everything from scratch, and figure it out myself. So things that there is always a way. So you just have to stay calm, don't panic, and start doing things yourself. And like you're starting like the basics, just figure things out from the basics. From there, you figure it out. So when you have an obstacle, don't buy like in the technical sense. So so outside that, where you have limited resources like light, because if you don't have light and you don't have let's say the funds to the lights on, it prolongs your production time.
Yeah, true.
Even so, even as at that, you just have to think about
Mm.
outsource, friends, and all of that. So to every obstacle, number one thing is don't give up. That's just the hack to it. Just have it at the back of your mind that sooner or later there will be a way.
Nice. So what you should take home is number one, don't give up. Number two, don't panic. Number three, there's always a way. All
There's
right.
always a way.
I think that's my own take home from this, from someone
Yeah,
that's been building games. And
eat afang and think. Just eat afang and
oh
think
yeah.
everything will be alright.
Number four, chop
Eat
afang
afang.
soup. Chop afang soup. And if you've not
Chop
tasted afang soup, please.
afang.
It's not overrated, neither is it underrated. It's something that you
Okay.
need. As Dr. Ben that I am, one swallow a day with afang keeps the doctor away. All right. All right. So, like, what's one hard thing about building a Web3 game that nobody talks about in the ecosystem? Like, what's one hard thing? We are a Nigerian building a Web3 product that nobody talks about, in your own opinion or from your perspective.
Okay, so it's about the um first of all the struggles it takes to build something that somebody like that that others will look at it and like it's giving a look. So imagine pouring out your ideas and everything, your creativity into something, and at the dead end, like people do not even rate it. That is number one. That is number one. And the uncertainty that this might not work, but then
Mm,
you still go ahead in doing it. That's actually very underrated. That's actually very underrated. You know deep down that this might not work. It's might just not work. You might like you're like basically you might basically be wasting your time, money, resources, and all of that. So it might not work, but then you still keep on doing it, taking on that gamble, taking on that risk. That's something that's not talked about often.
mm,
And then the challenge where oh you've finally built out a product that you derive so much joy and pride in. Now
mm,
time to put it out the math sense, the pushing sense and all of that. Now now these are things that some people don't have access to, which is
mm,
a very big hurdle, especially to devs, because most of these guys they just know how to build, so they know nothing about marketing, they know nothing about pushing their product and all of that. And in the Web3 space, it's it's like marketing actually matters. Like I even feel at some points before you even build anything, you have to think about how you want to distribute it and how you are going to be distributing it.
mm.
So distribution is
It's a
is
huge challenge.
yeah, a very underrated topic that I don't think it's talked about enough.
Yeah, amazing. I think I said this in the last live stream that it's one thing to have an amazing product, it's another thing to distribute the product. You could have a very built product, a very good product that actually should scale and solve real problems, but you are stuck at the point of distributing to the right audience. So Distribution is a huge thing when it comes to something like this. So now, for somebody watching out there, we have only 8 minutes to go. And big shout out to our 60 viewers right now on X and also YouTube. We have only still two viewers right now. Big shout out to you guys. Just in case you are joining, I have with me Gideon, who is the founder of Vortex, which is now currently live. It's a Web3 game currently live on the Solana Sika mobile device and also the PSG1 gaming console built by Solana. And if you have any question or you want to know more about the game, and also they have a live tournament which is currently live and it went live today. It's a 3 week tournament with real reward prize in USDT and also one NFT giveaway, which is the Player 2 NFT by PSG1 as a huge gift to support what's happening right now. All right, so do what to follow Gideon. His Twitter handle is currently at the bottom of this live. So do what to give me a follow on X. And if you have questions, do what to shoot me a DM and learn from what he's also doing and how he's building. So, Mr. Gideon, to people watching right now, probably the developers, people that want to join the community, people that want to belong somewhere or want to start their Web3 journey, but they don't know how. So, how or why? Tell us why they should be a part of the super team NG in your own words or from your own personal experience.
Okay, so it's why you don't. I find it very weird to tell people why you should be a super team NG member, because like there is a whole lot of reasons. Now, one problem and another problem that when it comes to distribution, or just once you have a great product and you get it in front of super team as a super team member, super team goes all out to make sure that you are seen, that your product is seen. That is one thing that super team, that is one of the numerous things that super team does for you. Now, it's a community that supports you from building down to production to distribution. So if you should check on, you should earlier this year before the year before the year began, they gave out their roadmap of the products they are currently working on, and you see they go through so many lengths in making sure that products on their communities are like seeing their head, and the support they need is given to them. So if you want to grow, either you need people to grow with or you need a community to support you. Supporting is the right place. Is the right place. And to all game devs out there that are looking forward to transitioning into the Web3 space and making blockchain games, or you're already doing that, you have a whole lot of reason to do that as a super team engineer member, because they go all out to make resources available for for you, especially like they have weekly dev dev calls and all of that, and the whole workshop sessions.
Mm,
Speaking of which, you have like a whole lot of workshop sessions ongoing, and I personally just concluded a 3 weeks workshop workshop where I taught how to basically set up Solana on Unity and make games, swaps, and all of that. So when you're a super team engine member, you have access to lots of opportunities, lots of resources, lots of assistance and such, and even earning opportunities, because they have the bounties from earn and all of that. There's just a lot of opportunities as a super team engine member.
Bam, when I don't hear him from the Ossis mouth himself. So if you are here and you are not a part of a community, please do well to join the Super Team NG community and also see how you can grow alongside with them. I'm sure that if you're in the crypto space, you must have heard of the Super Team NG. You for don't tire. So I think it's one place that helps you grow. Either you're a developer, either you're a newbie, either you just want to explore the space, either you just want to come and make money. Super Team has it. So I'm not trying to shield Super Team. Let me be. Oh, I love what Sebastian is doing. That's why I would always give a very big shout out to Ari. I remember when I wanted to start this live stream, I reached out to Ari on Telegram, and Ari just he loved what I wanted to do, and I was like, "Go ahead, let me give you the CG of our product lead and just chat with her." And it was a huge support from Ari. Ari doesn't really know me in person, but it was a support having Harry to give a feedback what I was trying to do, and he gave me his own blessings. So very big shout out to Harry if he's watching this right now. So before we just wrap this up, and because I know you have a lot of things you have to get back to, my last question is going to be: we know that people have been shouting Web3 gaming is dead. What's your take on this? How do you see Web3 gaming in the next 5, 10 years? What's your perspective?
Okay, so Listen, I also tell you with three gaming is dead. Since everybody define talk. But see, but but see, currently, since this year began, I'm I'm not sure that I've seen the number of games I've seen in this space before. Like
Mm.
each day there is always always a new game coming up and to always be doing very well. And now one thing about most Web3 games is that they also give platforms and opportunities for their players to earn.
Mm.
You get, so they give platforms and opportunities for their players to earn. So personally, Web3 gaming, especially on Solana, it's just getting started. It's just getting started. There've been like a lot of buzz, a lot of activities, a lot of momentum going on in the gaming ecosystem, especially in Solana. So 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 in some perspective, it is dead and being born anew because what is happening right now, it's crazy. Like hackathons come, um, bounties come, and you see people shipping new games, shipping new ideas on games, and all that, and then the seeker and the play Solana console play a very big role in that. If you should check on Seeker now, when did Seeker launch? Is it not like, was it ending of last year or this year? Now we have more than 70 plus games. Like there are more games on Seeker normal apps. So
Mm. Amazing.
so there it's still new. The ecosystem, there's still a lot of grounds to cover. There's still so much to be done. There's still um big room for creativity. The sky is huge and large to contain everybody. So if you're interested in making games for Solana, for blockchain, just come on board, and there's enough space for you and people that are willing to show you the ropes and carry on.
All right. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. Web3 gaming is not dead. And if it's dead, it's not dead on Solana. It's alive and it's just starting on Solana. So to everybody watching us right now, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining us today on this live stream. And we'll meet again on Wednesday. We're going to be talking to the founder of ClapMe, which is Nigerian. I think it's number one streaming platform also, where you get rewarded also. So big shout out to you, Mr. Gideon. Thanks for taking our time to speak to me on today's episode of Onchain Africa. Thank you so much. I've learned a couple of things, and I think my first child is going to learn how to be a game developer by the grace of God. So thank you so much. And
Thank you
please
for
do
having
not
me.
forget So give Gideon a follow on Twitter. Would really appreciate that. Do enjoy the rest of your week until we meet again on Wednesday. Stay safe, have fun, and don't stop evolving.
Thank you,
Bye for
guys.
now.
Mm.
All right.